Hey guys, welcome along to this one. This was round 2, SIMseniors, Monza. What a fantastic race we had. We sort of put pressure on us at the start. Obviously the BMW isn't like massively quick in a straight line, so it was imperative really we got a good qualifying, and yeah, we nailed it. We really did. We qualified on pole. So then the next step was to just get away, try and get through sort of T1, the chicane, then to the next chicane sort of ahead. Obviously the Aston Martins and the Audis being just stupidly quick on the straight. So, but yeah, here we go. Green light, we're away. Got an absolutely fantastic launch, to be fair. You can just see that the gap that I was pulling, it really was. I couldn't have asked for a better start. Nerves were still a little bit up and down. Obviously coming into T1, I just overshoot it slightly. I could have took it a lot better, but just managed to sort of hang it out. Obviously second place man, no chance of getting past with my sort of rear end in front of him. So obviously, but he had the run, you can clearly see coming up to the second chicane just how quick the Aston is, especially in the slipstream. But again, he tried sort of late on the brakes. I maybe braked a little bit later than what I should have done as well, just to keep him behind, as you can see, but we both managed to get through, so that was fine, not an issue. So this point is where the BMW excelled. I knew it would excel around the twisties. It showed it up in sort of like the timing zones through practice and qualifying. It was the sort of quicker car through the twisties, so I knew I had to make it count. I knew I had to get these sectors right before we sort of get down to the last chicane and out the other end. You've got sort of the last corner parabolica. I had to also get that right, with fear of obviously the straight line speed of the Aston. But by this stage we'd pulled just less than a second, I think it was, which was, yeah, fantastic. Yes, second place was still in the slipstream. I knew that. Like I said, had to get a good last corner. Which, yeah, we take fairly okay. If I remember, it wasn't the best. Obviously cold tyres still, sort of trying to get into the groove. That was always going to be the issue, trying to get into the groove, get the consistency going as quick as possible. So yeah, start of lap 2 now. Like I said, we've got, I think by this stage it was just over a second, but then it dwindled a lot because of the top speed. The move to third place man. Now this is Derek Hall, Desi. He comes on my channel, and unfortunately for him, he just runs a bit wide. I think he said he broke on the wrong marker, whether he was distracted by something or I don't know. But yeah, really unfortunate, because he was holding his own in third. All three of us were actually pulling away from the guys behind. But yeah, now he's got it all to do. Moving on to lap 6, we were still ahead. It was nip and tuck. I'll be honest, we were trading fastest laps, and I think it was pretty much down to who was going to make a mistake, who was going to have a bad lap. Now, I know on my past experience in a race, my consistency isn't too bad, but I always tend to have a rubbish lap. It just, yeah, nature of the beast with me. I'll always have a horrible lap, whether I sort of mess up the first chicane, a first corner, and then I just seem to sort of go to pieces for that lap and then manage to pick myself back up and then put in a decent lap. So I knew there was always that chance, that risk that second place could possibly catch up. But like I said, we were on it. We were trading, as I said before, trading fastest sectors, trading fastest laps. It was interesting to see, because you could clearly see start finish straight he would gain 2 to 3 tenths. Through the sort of twisty sections I would gain, and then it's sort of like concertina that way. But yeah, coming on board with second place man, and unfortunately for him, he took a bit too much curb on the inside, and it just unsettled the car, and he couldn't obviously correct it, stop the spin. And like I said, it was really unfortunate, because at that stage we were, like I said, trading best laps, back and forth in it. And to be fair, it would have took that, I think, for either myself or him to pretty much say who was going to win the race, because yeah, we were so even. So, but yeah, that was it then. Unfortunately for me, that was was just sort of plain sailing from then on. So we're going to jump back to Desi. Obviously, lap 2, he ran wide at Parabolica. So, as I said, he had it all to do. He qualified 3rd. He was only a couple of tenths off pole. So, I think he knew he had the pace. But yeah, just showing this. I said, the Beamer runs wide, goes straight on. Possibly, yeah, maybe outbraked himself. Fortunately for Desi, he managed to get the run as well, which is, again, unlucky for, I think it's Adam in the BMW, which is unlucky for him because he obviously lost two places. He was fighting for 2nd and he lost, then dropped down to 4th. So, but like I said, all good for Desi. Then he was back up, moving back inside, the same lap. You can see, but Adam has got other ideas. He's got the slipstream, and that again was surprised me. Not sure what Desi's tune was or how much wing he was running. But yeah, this is the lap on. I think Desi got a bit of a horrible Parabolica last corner, and Adam got the slipstream. So coming down to T1, tricky T1, both trying to maybe outbrake each other. I'm not too sure. But yeah, bit of a squeeze from Desi, I'd say. I don't really want to get into it, but unfortunate for Adam. But as I said again, I was shocked how sort of slow the McLaren was on the straight. It was pretty slow, to be fair. But this is moving on. I think this was lap 19, and yeah, lap 19, starting the lap 19. After the race, I found out, which is just really bad luck for Chris, who's in 2nd place in the Audi. I think he got the call from the crew chief, basically telling him that he was low on fuel, and he possibly wouldn't make to the end of the race, which was really unfortunate. I think this was the last lap, if I remember, possibly. Actually, no, sorry, not 19, 20. 20 was the last lap. What am I on about? But yeah, it obviously really unfortunate for Chris. As you'll see sort of later on, it really was. I mean, if you remember from round 1, if any of you guys watched it, he was unlucky to clip the sausage in the 3rd sector, the horrible sausage at Kyalami, and pretty much gifted me the 3rd place. And I think he dropped back down because he had damage to sort of 6th. And again, the sort of maybe the sort of the unlucky has struck again. Being sort of under-fueled, so to speak, but like I said, not the best for Chris. He sort of held his own, to be fair. No mistakes. He really did hold his own, but I mean, as you're going to see now, possibly messing about with the sort of buttons, trying to put it on a different map. I don't know. Maybe he just lost concentration, and obviously give Desi the run. So that's Desi then into 2nd. So coming around to start the last lap. We'll then switch to myself just for the last lap. As I said, not much happened after sort of lap 6. I sort of not so much took the foot off the gas. I just managed, I'd say, the laps that I had left. I was in a comfortable position that I knew I had the pace over the sort of guys behind me. I didn't have to push that much. A couple of laps from the end, I was trying to chase fastest lap, which had obviously gone to was 2nd place man Alessandro. Obviously he had the accident. I think he pitted as well. Obviously put fresh boots on and everything else, repaired the damage, and then was obviously putting in some pretty impressive laps. So 1 or 2 laps from the end, I was trying to sort of go for fastest lap, but I mean, I tend to try to not to do it now. I've made that mistake in the past, going for fastest lap and sort of bin the car off while leading a race. So yeah, we sort of learnt the hard way. So as I said, just bringing it home. It's such an enjoyable race. It really was. It was to sort of put the added pressure on for qualifying, to then actually qualifying in pole position, which I would have been happy with 1st or 2nd. I really needed to be on the front row, to be fair, knowing the pace of the Audis, knowing the pace of the Astons. but like I said, I didn't expect to sort of get pole. I certainly didn't expect to be in the lead after the first lap. So it was just such a brilliant race. The first 6 laps with Alessandro were literally, as I said, nip and tuck. We were on it, and I think that then has obviously, he's overcommitted, or because we've been literally on it, the quickest we can go every lap, there has to be a mistake at the end of the day. It's we're all human. So, and like I say, coming around the final corner, yeah, such a great win. I think it'll put me top in the championship after 2 rounds, but yeah, absolutely brilliant. So, but yeah, we'll skip back, as I said to Chris. So unlucky. This is the last lap. You can see Adam catching him. It was, I mean, I would be heartbroken, to be fair, being in the position, holding your own in second for so long of the race, to then get that call that, yeah, you haven't got enough fuel to finish the race. It's just, yeah, absolutely heartbreaking. It's why I always say, guys, always over fuel. You know what I mean? As much as I'd love to have it spot on that you trickle over the start finish line at the end of the race with literally like 0.1 of a litre, but I mean, you might as well go heavy, slightly heavy, just over fuel by a lap, just to make sure. But as you see now, this was just so painful. Just gets pipped right on the line.